Hello everyone and welcome to this week's healing session. Today we're gonna do a video on attachment issues, which was requested by O.B. McLeod. I hope this is what you expected. I thought about it in a way of attachment itself comes with so many things. We attach ourselves to the past, to people, to scenarios, in manifestation, to our desires. There's so much actually that we attach ourselves, and I feel like it's the one that happens the most in the subconscious part of it. Like, you sometimes are not even as aware that you attach yourself to something, especially like things that happened. I observe it sometimes, especially with my grandma right now that I see her more often. She attaches herself so much to the past about what happened, and she just keeps replaying it and talk about it constantly, and thinking about it. When I'm that age, I don't want to be thinking about what happened in my teen years, like the bad things, bad experiences I've had with people, or like things at work, like half the things in my apprenticeship I don't even remember anymore because it's insignificant right now to even think about it. And I kind of like want to avoid that for you guys a little bit. But yeah, before we get into this session, if you like my energy and you would like to work with me, you have the email where you can reach me for one-on-one sessions, either Reiki or tarot. If you like my content in itself, I have way more on Patreon, Reiki and tarot readings, as well as Shadowwork stuff. And in the Patreon shop itself, we have the ebook on Shadowwork and my new product, which is a guided meditation on healing your body. It's the one that I use quite frequently for myself, just a little bit kind of like a low effort way to heal your body. You're going to sleep anyways every night, so might as well use those 6 to 8 hours that you sleep to your advantage. So thank you so much, and we're gonna get right into the session. We start with loosening up the attachment identity, like the version of yourself that's so used to attaching themselves to things, situations, people. And I'm sorry if the outside noise, like you hear clinkering and stuff like that. I don't know where exactly the workers are, but they're doing something, and they're here the whole day. And in Spain they work quite late, so even in the evening I couldn't film it unless I would film at like 10-11 p.m. which is also not ideal. But yeah, I tried my best to edit every noise out that is too loud, but there's some things sadly out of my control. I want to break down like every energetic attachment that we have right now going on, things you might be aware of, things you might not even be aware of. Maybe even other people attaching themselves to you, which can also be quite annoying, difficult to navigate through, I would say. Just checking if you have still something going on. Going once more over it, just in case that I got everything out of the way. Now thinking about it, I think it's the gym underneath the building, because they have like back here on the building their own terrace, so you know they might have the window or like the door open. So I'm so sorry. Okay, the next thing is we're gonna release the old identity. I'm just gonna go into your auric field here and just swipe it away. Since we already broken up the energy anyways, it's much easier to release it. Now I'm gonna help you detach from people, situations, the past, whatever it is. Feel free here to deepen the intention for yourself. I'm gonna use a labradorite. I want to focus here real quick on your mind area. Sometimes it is more the ego part of ourselves that wants to attach. Real quick on the center of your forehead, use the emotional healing symbol. Kind of deepen that a little bit. Gonna be focusing now directly on your third eye, right above the healing symbol. Pressing that deep, really into your subconsciousness, so that it knows that there's no reason to attach to old scenarios, people in your life, things that happened, specific outcomes you hope for. That's also sometimes a attachment that we form. I'm gonna bring you down. If you spend too much time in your head, which can happen sometimes in these moments, bring you from the head back into the body. So that overthinking state doesn't happen anymore. It is remaining in that detached state. I want to focus here on your mind. Kind of like making this your natural state of being. So I was reminding the mind that whenever you kind of like spiral down in a scenario again, or like what happened, for you to in that moment realize, you know what, I'm gonna do something else. That's something that for me and my friend helps whenever we notice that we get really into our head and like obsess over like that specific thing, or kind of like in a way also let us be triggered. We just decide to do something else, like, oh, let me get a glass of water, or let me go watch a show, or let me paint, listen to some music. In that moment, not only interrupting the thought, but as well as do something else to bring the mind into a different state. So it's just gonna help us know in that moment how to act, to change the setting, I would say, in a way. And here I want to say something to you. I actually said that in my tarot reading on Patreon for, I don't remember which group it was, but last week's reading, where it kind of like got on the same topic a little bit as well, is compare this to learning how to ride a bicycle. You didn't do it overnight. It took practice, a little bit with training wheels first, and then you removed them. Still had to learn how to balance correctly, and it took a little bit of time. So whenever you notice you are attached to something again, don't be too harsh on yourself. Be gentle and remind yourself it takes practice, you know, depending how long you have been attached to that specific thing or scenario or whatever it is. It went on for quite a while, right? So don't expect yourself to just be over that situation, you know. If whatever you have been attached to for, like, let's say almost 10 years, it will take at least like 6 months to get used to it a little bit, but every single day you're getting a little bit better. Some people obviously are at it a little bit faster, so, you know, not specifically to say that it is strictly 6 months, but you know, you kind of get my point or the analogy. Just continue to be patient with yourself. The last part is kind of like a little bit the same as I said, being patient with yourself, but focus on you, not whatever it is that you're attaching yourself to. Bring the awareness back to you. And here it's kind of like a little bit also the pedestal path, which is something I learned from a life and energy coach that I follow. She says reason why we attach ourselves to scenarios, people, things is because we put it on a pedestal and we are not on the pedestal in that moment. We put it like at this higher perspective when it should be switched. We should be on the pedestal. That way we focus only on ourselves. So we're kind of implementing that a little bit as well. We're gonna use a rose quartz. I'm gonna be using the tip of this and kind of like pulling on your energy so that the awareness shifts and helping you feel a little bit more magnetic. That way you embody this energy and realize that you don't have to be attached to anything, because you're awesome, you're really cool, everyone loves you, everyone likes you, and you know, the outer reality is a perception of yourself. And the more you embody this feeling of self-love, confidence, as well as just focusing on yourself, basically, you realize that you don't feel a need to attach yourself to anything. I mean, the best example could be when you focus on yourself is when you stop talking to a romantic interest or you break up with your partner. And for some people it takes a little bit of more of a while to get over it, because they have like a codependency issue where attachment gets, you know, basically grabs you by the throat and doesn't let you go. At least that's the experience I had when I had to mostly heal my codependency issues and my attachment style. But the reason it was easy is because I then started to focus on myself. But everyone has this experience that as soon as you focus on yourself, everyone comes crawling back, and that shows you that you successfully released the attachment. And because you focus on yourself, your magnetic energy rises, and obviously everyone else around you perceives that as well, which is not the point, you know. When you start working on yourself, it's more for you, but that's just the law of correspondence then, like the effect we see. And I want you to kind of like take that a little bit as a guideline, the way the people around you react when you start focusing more on yourself, and realize, I'm doing a good job, I gotta keep this up, and not as a validation kind of type of deal, because sometimes certain people get that confused. I know my collective isn't part of that, but I just want to put it out there. If there's someone new, we don't look for validation from other people. The only person on the pedestal is ourselves. We are of love to finish this up, and now you're nice and ready. But remember to keep practicing the detachment, and just anytime you notice yourself hyper fixating on whatever it is that you attach yourself to, just to pull back, take that time, do something nice for yourself, and the more you do that, the easier it gets. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and we will see each other in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.